appreciate it. All right, welcome everybody. This is the Unlock Your Full Potential Masterclass, and I'm here today with Coach L and Rico. We are so excited that you all have joined us today. We have so much in store for you with a little less time than we'd hoped for, but we are going to keep forging forward. Let me tell you a little bit about some things about Coach L first, because she's going to be speaking first. So let's talk about it. Elle is a certified calling in the one coach, conscious uncoupling, and laser coaching. If you're not familiar with that, we're going to dive into that a little bit today. So you'll learn a little bit about that as well. And she specializes in helping individuals release limiting beliefs and emotional blocks to manifest soul enriching partnerships. Her approach fosters radical self-acceptance, intuitive wisdom, and authentic connections. So whether you're seeking your life partner or you're looking to up-level a relationship that you're already in, Elle's expertise cuts straight to the heart. Through her work, you'll learn how to embody radical self-acceptance, tune into your intuitive wisdom, and create lives and connections rooted in authenticity and love. So that's a little bit about Elle. Elle, welcome, welcome. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you so much, Brie. Thank you. Beautiful introduction.
Awesome. And then a lot of you already know my next coach here is Rico. So chronological age of 82, fitness age of 35, I need that in my life, is America's healthy aging trainer and creator of the Ageless Living Lifestyle, the Vitality for Life online training program, the Fast Fit 17 fitness system, and the Fearless Aging podcast. He is a speaker, author of 29 books, DVD programs, and a personal trainer and health coach for 41 years. He is multi-gold and silver medalist in the California State Senior Olympics. That's huge. Rico's dynamic and passionate presentations give your audience, all of you, inspiration, education, and proven tips and strategies that you can use immediately to improve your health and well-being for life. Welcome, Rico. You made it. We're so glad you're here.
Me too. I'm really glad I'm here now. Thanks. Yeah, thank you. And thank you for that great introduction.
Absolutely. And I am Brie, your host, Brie Campano. I am the owner and founder of Beyond Reach Studios. I host summits. I help podcasters. I do all kinds of things. And I'm going to be your MC for the day. So thank you for being here and being so patient. We love having you here. So first up is I want to talk a little bit about, between the two of you, like why this? Why was this so important to you to put this masterclass together?
Yeah, if I can give a little introduction, when Coach L and I first got together and decided that we should do a workshop together, we were thinking, let's do something that can really be life-changing, life transforming for people. And so I think we all know that the three main topics that we all are most interested in and most have to deal with is building relationships. And that includes, most importantly, building a good relationship with yourself, which Coach L is an expert in that. And then also building good health. And then the one that people, unfortunately, I think make a top priority is building a successful business or career and financial situation, which is important. But unfortunately, I think so many people tend to neglect their relationships and their health, while they're trying to build their wealth. So really what Coach L and I came up with, was really, if you build good relationships and you build some good health and lots of energy, then that's the foundation for being highly successful in every other aspect of your life, and particularly your business or your financial situation. So that's how we came up with this idea that we'll combine relationships with good health, because if you learn to master those two things, you have built the foundation to be highly successful in every other aspect of your life.
Exactly. Yes. Beautifully said, Rico.
Fantastic. I love that. I think it's so important. I think we sometimes focus on parts of that, but we don't get all of that, right? We're missing out, or we don't focus on it and we forget, putting our health first, something that I've learned about personally a lot lately in my life and experienced a lot of different things that have been setbacks. And I've started to prioritize myself. And I think that's something we all need to do, whether it's with our emotional and our connection to ourselves and what we want and what we need in our lives and what we need from our partners or the people in our lives, as well as how we're treating our bodies and how we're treating ourselves and putting ourselves first. I know as a mom, moms tend to put ourselves last. We always eat last, we sleep last. We always put ourselves at the end. And it's time that we start prioritizing ourselves a little bit more, because if we can't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of other people around us. So that's why I was really excited for today, because I think it covers the whole entire body, mind, and spirit of things that we need to focus on. So, Elle, I want to kind of dive in. You're going to start us off on our self-love, our self-care, and limiting beliefs. So I'll let you take over. Go ahead, Rico.
I just want to say one more thing.
Sure.
The reason we're starting with Elle and with relationships, because what I found is why so many people do not take better care of their health is because they haven't really built that relationship with themselves to really and love themselves more, and that's why they're not taking care of their health better. So I think what Elle has to offer is the first thing that we all need to master, and then when you do that, then you're going to say, hey, I better take better care of my health so I can go out and live my purpose and be highly successful.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Yes, Rico and Bree. So the foundation, look at the foundation. Let's check. We had a conversation before we started, and it was a beautiful conversation with Brad. So let's look at where we are. I will let you know a little bit about my past so you understand why I choose to be a relationship coach. I'm an entrepreneur. I have built businesses since my late 20s. My last company that I built was a recycling company of electronics, of collection in California. So going through that, I realized after I sold my business that I have been successful in business always, but not in my relationships. I look at my relationship with my partner, my ex, and I realized that I went through Catherine Woodward Thomas's coaching program that what has happened, what was my 2% that I put in this interaction and didn't work. The foundation of it was I had no idea what my needs are. I was not communicating my needs because I really didn't know what my needs are. I knew what I don't want, but I didn't know what I wanted. And communication, part of knowing what you want and communicating to your partner in business, in any kind of aspect, or whoever that you're talking to, is important. So that foundation was not there for me. So I kind of worked on that for a while. And now I am friends with my ex. We communicate once in a while when it's needed. And we're both in the same space of acceptance. So I would ask you this question. What is your relationship with yourself? Because that's the key foundation of the relationships that you have with others. Let's look at that. Do you know what your needs are in relationship with yourself and with others and with your life? Is it the relationship itself? Has it formed from that childhood space? Are you aware of that space or those limiting beliefs that you think about yourself that are not good enough? Is the connection to self, is that the adult self, or still in that space of your connection with that younger self of yours? So this is all the questions that you can ask yourself. Maybe you like to journal, maybe you like to meditate. In the space of understanding who you are and what your needs are, it's a first step to that foundation of having those relationships outside of yourself. And we're going to talk about health. Rico is going to talk about the health part. That's also foundation, the key to understanding where you want to be as a healthy person. So there is 3 keys that I always talk and I help my clients. These are the first 3 sessions. It's about self-love, self-care, and limiting belief. Sometimes the limiting belief can be more than one belief, which we can, expand on that and I work with my clients. I had maybe 5 that I worked it out with myself, with my coach. So let's talk about self-love. What does that mean to you? I mean, to me, it means accepting yourself unconditionally, embracing your flaws, imperfections, and acknowledging your worth is not dependent on those external validations. And being able to nurture yourself in a deep sense of compassion and appreciation for this unique self individual that you are. That's, to me, is self-love. So I wonder, what is self-love to you? Are you ready to put that healthy boundaries with other people around you, at work, in the family, with your loved ones? And is there a way of understanding based on the self-love, the boundaries that you put with other people around you? Would that get you to be in that self-care? And what does that self-care means to you? Self-care is in consciously taking steps to prioritize your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being by, let's say, engaging in activities like, exercising, reducing your stress and anxiety, promoting relaxation and inner peace, balancing your overall quality of life. Are you the one who's asking yourself, what is the self-care that I like to give myself today or this week? Is it walking or hiking or getting a massage or any kind of self-care that I like to do for myself? Is that something a priority on your list when you think about your self-care? So let's talk about a little bit more about self-love. It would be, I guess, the tips that I can give you is to practice positive self-talk. Replace those negative thinking about I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, nobody loves me, everybody leaves me if I love them. And just celebrate your accomplishments. Make a list of your achievements, no matter how small, and take pride of them. Let's say if you're thinking about losing 10 pounds or 20 pounds or 5 pounds, whatever it is, even if you lose that 1 pound, celebrate that. And know that you have accomplished, like in your heart, give yourself that check mark that says, okay, I have lost that 1 pound and I'm so excited. So I'm again excited to lose the other 4 pounds. The next step would be to forgive yourself. We all make mistakes and we learn from them and we go forward. Don't have those harsh self-judgment about yourself. So I do help my clients to forgive themselves from those past experiences if anything has happened in the past. One of the exercises about self-love that I give them is to the mirror work that I learned many years ago from Louise Hay. This is when you I invite you to, when you get up in the morning, look in the mirror and see if you can look into your eyes and say to yourself, oh my God, you're so beautiful. I love you. You're going to have a great day. This is the best day of your life. And you can say that every day because you can make that day the best day of your life. That's the intention that you can put in your heart and put a step forward by really looking to your eyes and going deep inside your soul. The other part is treat yourself with kindness. Speak to yourself as you would to be that you talk to a beautiful friend of yours, a beautiful family member that you love. Compliment yourself daily by, yes, looking at the mirror and acknowledging that one thing that you appreciate about yourself. You look great, your hair looks good for women or for men. Oh, you look younger today, or anything that really you see yourself in that when you look at in the mirror. So the next step is the self-care. Prioritizing by your physical health. Eating which Rico is going to talk about that later, but it's the same thing. It's very connected to that self-care and self-love. Eating those balanced diet, exercising, and getting enough sleep. So you be able to really, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, I'm getting up today. I have a goal today to, accomplish at work or, with my family. And I'm getting up with compassion for myself first and others around me. Nurture your mental well-being. Practice mindfulness, meditation, journaling, and reduce the stress by promoting or by being emotionally resilient to really befriending your emotions. Even if you feel angry, even if you feel sad, even if you feel totally disconnected with yourself, acknowledge that and sit with that emotion. I tell my clients, why can't we just today, right now, let's befriend the emotions. Let's see, tell me what's the emotion that comes up for you when you talk about this experience from the past. And we really go deep because those emotions has been trapped in your body from many years ago, sometimes when you're 5 or 6 years old. And that's kind of the foundation of those health issues that you have when you're a young adult, because we have not really addressed and felt those feelings from the past because it has been negative and we're pushing it down below again and again. Set boundaries. Let's just learn to say no to commitment that drains your energy and it's not prioritizing your needs. Schedule a weekly self-care ritual, long baths, massage, anything that is best for you, that you think that it will really give yourself that healthy self-care and positive outcome when you are, for example, when I get a massage, I'm like really happy for 2 days because I feel my body relaxing. And that would, I always, at least once a month, I get a massage just because that 2 day of feeling so connected to my body. So the last one is those limiting beliefs, identifying those limiting beliefs and understanding, recognizing those negative thoughts that you're holding, that's holding you back. I'm not good enough. I never succeed. I never deserve happiness. Those are the ones that if you journal them, so anytime that negative belief comes up, you can replace it with the positive ones that you already know about yourself. You can challenge your limiting belief by questioning if there's a valid and search for evidence for today as an adult, because those are all usually from those childhood experiences. So I invite you to also reframe your mindset. replace those limiting beliefs with beliefs that align with your goals and values of today, this adult self of today. And I guess at the end, you can always ask and seek support from people around you who are positive influences for you, and encourage your growth, a best friend, a coach, someone that you feel that they really, that energy is positive, and you can really be together and have that interaction so you can go to the next level of being loving to yourself. So I guess these are the three foundations, and that's how I help my clients to go through it and to really understand who they are, what their needs are, and really acknowledging that they are worthy to put those self-limiting beliefs aside, because these are happened in the past. Exactly what we talked about at the beginning of our conversation today. So I let Rico talk about his part, and then at the end we can have answer any questions.
Yeah, Coach L, that was so good. I just wanted to add to what you said.
Sure.
If you're having trouble really feeling a lot of love for yourself, well, think about this. I think that most people believe in some sort of a creator, some kind of a creative force, whether you call it God or spirit or whatever, that you were created. And we have the feeling that God, our creator, is all knowing, all loving. And so you were created by your creator or God out of love. And so God loves you. God loves you and put you here to be here to live your purpose and to love yourself and to love your life. So if your creator loves you, why would you not love yourself? That doesn't make much sense, does it? So everybody is here to be a loving human being and to live their purpose. So I always like to tell people, the more you love yourself and the more you love your life, the better your life becomes.
Exactly. Yeah. Perfect. I mean, I always write a journal every morning. I'm here to love and be loved. And that's the key to going forward. Start your day with that positive way of being and talking and writing, or whatever is best for you, to yourself, with yourself. Then that means that you have that connection starting of the day, and understand that, yes, there are, we talk the universe, God, angels, guides, whoever that you are, imagine them around you. I do visualization on my laser coaching, and this is how I take the client from where they are to where they want to be, by knowing that around us there's those positive energies that we can always embrace and feel. So thank you, Rico.
Yeah.
That was wonderful, Elle. And I love that. I love the notebook thing. I would suggest everyone, because that is so powerful what you were talking about, get one of those little notebooks and a pen, right? And take it with you and write down positive things about yourself. I don't care if it's I got the best parking spot because I was patient, to, I made it, I ran my first mile today, or I had a client. I started out, like Rico just had. Brent was so kind at the beginning to say that. And I say, write those things down, get those things in the book that you can look and say, wow, I had these great moments, to remind ourselves that we do have this beauty within us. We need to love on ourselves more. And sometimes our brain is like, we push ourselves to only see the negative. And if we can train ourselves and we take the time to recognize those moments where I just did that. I crushed that. I did this great. Like, hey, write that down. Let yourself know, remind yourself of all of this. That's an energy that you're building within you, and it will hush those negative thoughts and replace them with all of these positive. So when you can't think of something positive, you'll have a notebook filled with positive things that you can look at and remind yourself, I can do this. I'm amazing. And I know that is such an important thing to have within us and to think about as far as how we're talking to ourselves, but that also leads us into how are we taking care of ourselves? What are we doing? How are we reducing stress? How are we moving through our day? How are we feeding ourselves and sleeping and all of these things? So I'm excited to hear Rico give us a little insight and help us along that journey. Rico, take it away.
Yeah, well, that's a perfect segue into this, because when you begin to love yourself more and you begin to love your life and you live in your purpose, then you realize, hey, I need a healthy, energetic body so I can go out there and make a difference in the world and just enjoy my life. So creating good health is a really complex subject, and everybody is biochemically unique. And so what it really takes is learning what your body requires to function optimally. But there's some basic things that we all can do to begin creating better health. And so really having good health is really equated to energy, how much energy you have. Energy and good health are actually the same thing. So we're actually energy producing machines. And so you have lots of energy, you have lots of good health. So I think what I'll do in this short time that we have, I'm going to focus on how you can create maximum personal energy. And that's so important because one of the biggest things that people go to see medical doctors is from having fatigue or lack of energy. And unfortunately, our mainstream medical system doesn't have any answers for that at all. So I think what will be really helpful for you today, I'm going to focus on what's really draining your energy and then what you can do to increase your energy. So there's three top energy robbers, I like to call them, that you really need to be aware of and you need to address. And the first one is stress. And also stress is also known to be one of the biggest things that people go to see doctors again. And we now know too from science that whatever manifests in our physical body begins in our mental emotional state. And that's just stress. And that's the things that we're allowing ourselves to create stress, and then that equates into what manifests as all this chronic illness that people are dealing with in their physical bodies. So really, I think the biggest energy robber that we have is actually what Coach L was talking about as well too. What you're thinking about, what limiting beliefs you have, what you're thinking about, why your life is not as good as you think it should be, and you're wondering, why is this happening to me? And you're letting things from the outside world affect you, like blame it on the government or the economy or other people. And this is what I call the real fake. We used to hear so much about fake news. All these stories that we're telling ourselves, that is really the fake news that you need to work out for, because it's not true. You're just making up all this stuff. And so that's what you really want to get a handle on, is get a handle on all these thoughts that you're having about why you're not as happy or doing as well as you need to. And so really most of the stress that we deal with is self-inflicted. We're always going to have challenges, no question about it. Life is full of challenges, and life wouldn't be good at all. It wouldn't be interesting at all if we didn't have challenges, because that's how we learn and we grow and we come through there. And then we learn to how that we can overcome these challenges, and we get creative, and that's what makes life really worthwhile. So as Al said, if you're not dealing with your limiting beliefs, then you're allowing yourself to be a victim instead of taking responsibility for everything in your life. So some basic things that you can do right away to manage stress is already, as Coach Al was talking about as well, you got to be aware of when you're having these negative thoughts and you're complaining about what's going on in the world. All those things are really draining your energy. So I just tell people, just whenever you catch yourself, just like you do on your computer, delete that. It's not serving you, and just always put your attention on what you want in your life, not what you don't want. And that's going to serve you really well. And then breathing. Here's one of the most, when we're feeling stress, your sympathetic nervous system is fired up. So what you want to do, you want to shift into what's called the parasympathetic nervous system, which is more relaxing and healing. So you can do that easily with your breath. And one of the easiest ones is just to take 4 breaths in, just like 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it for 4 counts, and then blow it out slowly through your mouth for 6 or 8 counts. So just breathe in, hold it, and then slowly breath out. And just do a series of those. It'll calm you right down. It'll shift you into your parasympathetic, and then you can relax and get rid of all that stress. And then you can go, you can function much better when you're not all stressed, and you'll have a lot more energy. And of course, as Coach L talked about, meditation is so good. And then movement. The very best thing if you're feeling stressed is go out for a walk, do some movement, especially get out in nature if you can. When you get out in nature, it just calms you down. You get away from all these electromagnetic fields that we're always dealing with in the cities, and you get out into nature, and it'll just really calm you down. And then the last thing I want to say about stress, one of the big reasons that we're always so stressed is because most people still aren't really clear on what their purpose is in life or what's really important in their life. Again, as Coach L was talking about. So if you're not really clear on what your purpose is, then whenever you have a big decision in your life, that's real stressful because you don't know really what you should do. But when you know what your purpose is, and you know what's really important in your life, that makes it all your decisions very unstressful, because if I do this, is this going to take me further along what my purpose is? Is this going to serve my purpose, or is it not? So that takes away all the stress of trying to decide what you need to do next in your life. So it's so important to find what your purpose is. And just real quickly, usually your purpose is whatever that that you're really good at and that you enjoy and that it serves other people. And so that's so important to get clear on what your purpose is, and that's going to reduce a lot of stress in your life. All right, so the next one now is sleep. There's a lot of scientific studies these days that have shown that if you don't get at least 7 hours of good restful sleep every night, they're giving people cognitive tests, and for every hour less than 7 hours, you don't perform very well, either physically or mentally. So people who say, "Oh, I can get by on 4 hours of sleep," they're just fooling themselves. And when you're not sleeping well, it's really creating a lot of stress in your body, and you're prematurely aging yourself. So in order to have good health and for your body to function well, you've got to get to sleep, because sleep, now, it's when our body slows down, rejuvenates from all the activity that we had during the daytime, and repairs and rejuvenates ourselves. And if you're not having enough time to sleep, then your body can't repair. And that's why so many people are getting old and sick and dying way too young and having all these chronic illnesses and poor health, because they're not slowing down and getting the sleep and getting relaxation. One of my main mentors, a naturopathic doctor, said, ideally we should have 12 hours of activity and 12 hours of rest and relaxation. That means maybe 7 or 8 hours of sleep and maybe 3 or 4 hours of relaxation. Slow down and take some time off. Turn off all the screens that are just totally distracting you from being in touch with who you really are, and being in touch with what your purpose is, and being in touch with nature, with Mother Earth. Get outside and walk and breathe, or listen to some music, do something that's relaxing and enjoyable. Somehow we got into this rush society that we think we have to accomplish so much. I'd like to blame it on technology in a way. I mean, technology is great, right? I mean, we couldn't be doing this masterclass if it wasn't for technology, but we seem to go to extremes all the time. We always want to go to extremes. People can't put their phone down. I go to the gym, and people can't put their phone down hardly to exercise. They'll be doing a few reps, and then they got to look at their phone again. The other day, I have to just tell you, it's so funny. I was in the steam room, and this guy's in the steam room with his phone, trying to clean the screen off so he can see your screen. You can't even put down your phone to take a steam or a sauna. It's just ridiculous. So, put down your screens and your distractions, and just connect with life and with yourself. And that's going to do so much to really improve your overall health. And there's lots of information. Again, we don't have time to go into all that today, but sleep, it's so important to make sure that you're getting sleep. Ideally, The best hours to sleep are between 10 and 6, if you can possibly get in the habit of doing that. All right. And then the third one is why people are lacking in energy and good health is poor nutrition. Now, again, nutrition is really a complex subject. That could be a whole weekend workshop in itself. But again, I'm going to really make it real simple for you. Our bodies require about 90 nutrients every day to function optimally. And to get these nutrients, it's not that difficult. As a matter of fact, again, a perfect thing, as our guest Brent here said about my book, Real Food, Real Fast, the key there is the word real. If you just begin to make your diet at least 80 to 90% of real food. Now, real food is what's grown in nature. You don't have to read the label because it doesn't come with a label. It's organic, whole foods, fruits and vegetables and whole grains and nuts and seeds, and some healthy animal products that are raised naturally without any chemicals and hormones and allowed to range freely. If you just get into eating real food, it's going to make a huge difference in your life. Again, nutrition is a complex subject, and we all need to find out, what works for us, because, some foods can be a great food for somebody and it can almost kill somebody else. I have a friend, if he eats nuts, you have to rush him to the emergency room. He could die, But for most people, nuts is a really healthy, energizing food. So just begin to realize that you got to eat real food, because the reason that we eat is to get energy. So I have a question for you here. Have you ever felt a little tired, or a little bit slowed down after you had a meal? Well, if that's the case, there's two reasons. Either you ate too much, you overate, or the food that you actually ate was so low in energy, it actually drains your energy, because it takes a certain amount of energy to digest and process and eliminate the food that we eat. But if you're eating a diet of highly processed junk food and fast foods, these foods are so highly processed that some people call them unfoods, that they're so low in energy that they actually can drain your energy. So you can actually eat a meal of junk food and then you don't have any energy. So keep in mind, the reason to eat is to get energy, to energize yourself. And so I've got here's one thing that I think will be really helpful for you. I've got three, what I call the eat techniques. E period, A period, T period, eat. These are eating awareness techniques. So the first one is just when you eat, just eat. The old thing, the businessman's lunch, that was really a bad thing. You're trying to maybe sell somebody something and you're not even paying attention to what you're eating. So when you eat, take some time out, slow down, relax your mind, relax your body, and give thanks for that food and enjoy that food, and just eat and enjoy your food. As you know, if you're distracted, if you're watching TV, you could take a whole bag of potato chips and eat the whole bag while you're distracted, and you don't even realize how much you ate because you're not paying attention to what you're eating. So think about a meal as a time to relax and enjoy, and to replenish yourself, and to re-energize yourself, and to enjoy your food. And so the second technique is to slow down and chew your food. This is something I have to always remind myself. It's like we have a tendency to just eat too fast. So slow down, chew your food, especially when you're eating carbohydrates, because there's enzymes in our saliva, in our mouth, that start the process of digesting carbohydrates. So chew your food, chew your vegetables, your fruit, your grains, chew those things really well. And here's the thing, here's the real benefit of that as well. Not only will you get better digestion and absorption, and you'll get more nutrients and therefore more energy, but also you won't eat as much, because your body will begin to realize, hey, I'm getting full, so you won't overeat. See, when you eat real fast, you can slam down so many calories that before you feel full, and that's why so many people have a problem with with being over fat these days, because they're eating too fast and they eat more calories than they actually need. So when you eat slowly, chew your food and enjoy it well, you won't tend to overeat. And then the next thing is to stop eating when you start to feel satisfied. Don't wait until you feel full. Because again, if you feel full, that's going to slow you down because all the blood has to rush into your stomach to digest the food. And that's why you feel a little sluggish and slow down. So don't try not to overeat. In other words, when you start to feel satisfied, right before you feel totally full, that's when you should stop and don't overeat. So remember, just eat. Don't have no distractions. Just enjoy your food. Eat slowly. Chew your food well, and stop before you're totally full. Now, one other thing I really have to mention is we hear we see so many ads for energy drinks. Well, guess what? These are energy drinks are not energy drinks. They're actually long term. They're actually draining your energy. They're not giving you energy. They're just stimulating your system, full of caffeine and sugar and even herbal stimulates. Those things are really bad for you. They're actually creating long term fatigue in your body. All they're doing is overstimulating you, and then it just drops you back down again. And that's a process that continues and becomes a habit. So they're actually draining. So get rid of these energy drinks. They're not giving you energy. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't ever drink coffee and have a little bit of caffeine can be okay as long as you don't overdo it. Maybe 1 cup or 2 cups a day. But really, what you need to do to build energy is the things we're talking about here today. Okay, so we got one more thing. Wait a minute. Did I talk about sleep, stress? I didn't talk about movement. Let me just add a little bit of movement here again. Energy is like money. You have to spend some to get some normally, right? You have to invest some money to make more money. So it's the same thing with exercise, with movement. Your body requires movement to be energized. So every day you've got to get up and move your body. If you do nothing more than go for a walk. But here's the other thing I think it's real important to add. You probably heard this term that sitting is the new smoking. And now we realize that it's much worse, not just because it creates bad posture and like back pain and all that stiffness and all that. But also medically, we've known that our blood pools in our legs, it puts stress on our heart. It's a precursor to lots of health challenges. So what I recommend is not to sit for more than about 30 minutes, get up and move and breathe and stretch and do some movement and keep moving throughout your day. And that's going to really help you to keep your energy up and to build good health. And then the very last thing is one thing a thing that drains your energy is to avoid negative people. Negative people will really drain your energy as well. All right. I hope that all made sense. But I kind of went through it a little fast here.
That was amazing. And I think it's so very true. I don't think we realize like all of these things and how they fit together. So when you share that like they all work together, right? You could be eating right, but then you're not sleeping at night, or you're not taking the time to like you eat and you sleep, but you don't get to reduce the stress. So they all come into play together. They all work in tandem together, and they're all equally important.
Yeah, I mean, my experience is that movement, because I'm on Zoom almost all day long. So if I don't go for a walk in the morning for 45 minutes an hour, my day doesn't go well. And sometimes, or a lot of times, after each Zoom, I go walk around, go outside and come back just to kind of change that atmosphere, move my body as Rico is suggesting. So it always works well for me.
I'd just like to say too, before we talk about, I know we got some free gifts for you guys, and we got a couple of announcements that we want to give to you. But I came up with 3 big tips that kind of sums all this stuff up that Elle and I can just go over real quickly. Can we do that? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Oh.
100%. Let's do it. I
Okay,
was like, wait, are you asking me? Absolutely.
Oh.
I'm in. Let's do it.
Okay, so these 3 big tips I came up with, and I want to have Elle's comment on them as well. This kind of sums up our whole master class here. Is that number 1 is know that you have a unique purpose in this lifetime, and that the world needs you to live your purpose. That's number
Beautiful.
1. That's number 1. So what do you want to add to that, Elle?
It's true. I mean, I get up every morning and I say I am every morning that I'm getting up with purpose and good vibration. So even if that's a question mark for you today, think about it because all the answers are within you and within us.
Yes.
So if you ask that question maybe 20 times, in the 21st time, you get that answer and explore by, walking, by writing on your journal, meditation, anything that comes up, so you will know what your purpose is. I mean, I was lucky to go through that heartbreaking separation from my ex to get to this place of knowing what my purpose are. Sometimes you have to go through that negative or hard space of being to get to that understanding what your purpose is. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And number two is to commit to taking responsibility for everything in your life, particularly your relationships and your health. If you want to be a powerful person is just one who takes responsibility for everything in your life. Because if you don't take responsibility, then you're a victim. You don't want to be
Yeah.
a victim. But if you take responsibility, again, as we've been talking about, take responsibility for building those great relationships and for building your health, and then your life's just going to be elevated.
Yes. So that's commitment. Ask yourself, what is my commitment to myself for today? Is it to be eating healthy? Is it to walk for an hour? Is it to have this conversation with my partner? Whatever it is, and look at it in a positive way because every experience, every commitment that you give to yourself and you act on it, it takes you further forward to your goal. We all have goals in our life. We all have something that we are looking forward to tomorrow. But what is it today that you're committing to yourself to get to that next step?
Yeah, very well said. And the last one is just something to always keep in your mind. And that is, life is not supposed to be a struggle. It's supposed to, I mean, again, we're going to have challenges, but life's not supposed to be a struggle. So slow down and enjoy your journey. Love yourself more. And again, I'd love to say that the more you love yourself and your life, the better your life becomes. So enjoy your journey.
Yes. I mean, I invite you to look at your journey. Uh, if, if any kind of problems that comes to your life. My dad used to say, there is no problems. Don't ever say that. There is always a way to go beyond what you want to do. And yes, so in with this issue or whatever it comes up, it's a learning experience for you. Look at it as a learning experience and see, okay, in this space, what I have learned in this interaction, in this block that came to my life or universe brought this to my life, there is a learning space with that. And as soon as you understand and you really go deep and looking at it in a positive way of learning, then it's easy. It becomes easy to go forward.
Absolutely. Be joyful. Why not?
Yes, why not? Thank you, everybody, for listening to us. I hope that you enjoyed it. So I think Bree, now we ask if anybody has any questions from
Yep.
Rico or me.
Yeah, I'd love to get questions from anybody that has questions. Plus, I have some things I wanted to put in the chat. So we've got so many great things for you today. And so if the best thing that you could possibly do is book some time with Rico and Elle. They are both offering a 30-minute complimentary session one-on-one with them. And this is where you can truly address anything that you personally, instead of doing in a group setting, one-on-one, we'll get some great advice, see what the best strategy, the best plan is for you specifically. Let me tell you, 30 minutes with these two, it's an amazing experience. I've sat down with Elle for 30 minutes and I have had revelations and new things and open up new paths. And she's always checking on me It's such an incredible experience. We heard from Brent how, working with Rico and having things from his book years ago, just how impactful that is. So I highly encourage you. I'm going to put those links in the chat. If you have a question that you like, I have a question I need to ask, you can either unmute yourself and ask away or put it in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. So the first thing I'm going to put in here is for Coach L. If you want to book some time with her, please do so. Who has a question they would like to ask? Angelica, I saw you just come on. Did you have a question that you wanted to ask?
I'm formulating it in my head right now.
Okay.
But I just wanted to say thank you to you both. I just thought you shared such a wealth of knowledge, and there was such a beautiful synergy in like what you do, Coach L, and then your take, Coach Rico, because it's all like a balance, right? We can't just look at one thing in isolation. And I feel like we get so hyper focused on one thing that we end up losing track of all the other things that keeps us fulfilled and like energized in life. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, I believe that we can have it all: health, good relationships, and money, abundance. And it's just a matter of what is the commitment to self, of looking to see how we can accomplish these goals based on that relationship itself and those negative beliefs that we can clear in our mind. So yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, well said, Angelica. That was well said. Thank you.
Say the same about everything you said.
Yeah, I think that when we look at some things in our lives, the stress one really I think we all can say, yes, we're all under stress at all the time. And how do we deal with that? And how do we take care of ourselves? And how is that balance between that relationship that we have with ourselves and the things that we're telling ourselves also comes into play, is how are we handling that stress and the effect that it can have on our physical bodies. It will manifest itself. It could be anything from, getting aches and pains to headaches to heart issues, circulation issues. There's so many ways that it affects itself. So how do we, what are some tips? If I was going to do two things, I'm going to ask one thing from Elle and one thing from Rico. Give me a tip that I can do today to take that little bit of stress off myself, that we maybe haven't mentioned yet.
Go ahead, Rico.
Well, I think always the first thing we always need to go to is our breath. Anytime you're feeling anxious or stressed or undecided or whatever, or maybe or even also it works both ways. If you're feeling a little fatigued, a little tired, just go to your breath. Start doing some nice deep belly breathing and just relax, because our breath is really our connection to our higher self. It's our connection to spirit. So breath is always it's a go-to thing. Start to do some nice, pay attention to your breath and just breathe for a while. It'll make a huge difference.
Love that. That is so huge. Elle?
It's what I can say is understand that your thoughts, you can change your thoughts in 2 seconds. You have to, if you commit to that space of positive being. So any limiting belief that I'm not good enough, I cannot do this, anything that comes up, question yourself. Why is this negative belief? And what is it that you can write down, journal, or anything that you wanted to, the positive part of you that is always there. You just have to look at it, feel it, invite it in, and hold on to it, and nourish it with love. I can actually give an example from a client of mine, I think, and it's all connected to your body. It's so interesting. So I had a client who came to me and said, you know what, I can't, she had a big, huge bump on this right side. And she went to the doctor. She thought maybe it's her, tooth or anything that she needs to take care of, but the doctor told her that it is TMJ. It's just that. And I said, okay, let's explore. Why are you having that symptom? What is it? So we went through the whole session, 45 minutes of it, to see exactly what is it that is bothering her. Because any part of your body that is a pain or any inflammation, anything, it's part of something that is inside of you. So we figured out that she wanted to talk to her husband, but she couldn't. So part of her was afraid and angry at some point, but she couldn't even talk to him and tell him exactly what's on her mind. So I said, let's just work on that. So we worked on it in another session. So what is it that deep inside that wants to comes out? What is it that you need to say how you want to explain and talk to him about this? Can it come from that loving space of inside of you? Is it because of him, or is it something that has opened up in you from your past experiences? So we went through the detail of it. And when she became so in a space that she could go and talk to him in a loving way, healthy way, communicate what her needs are in that specific part, she did that. And imagine that pain, that's everything went away as soon as she did have that conversation with him. So I was just inviting you to question yourself. There's what is part of you, what is your body talking to you about? So I think Justin has how do I build confidence and reduce anxiety? Yes, it's a great question. Anxiety and confidence, it's ask yourself, what is that limiting belief that you think about yourself? Am I not good enough? What is that? Why don't you have that confidence inside of you? Is it because of the past experiences? What kind of patterns comes in your mind? And let's look at that. Anxiety is just fear. That's what I think. So what are you afraid of? What has happened that brings that anxiety up for you? Let's look at it. I mean, look at your life. It's beautiful. What part of it is negative for you? And let's open it up. Past experience, especially when trying to get into relationship. Yes, I get it. It's a very simple thing. It's all those experiences from the past. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you within that 30 minutes complimentary, and we can go deep inside of it and see what it is. And I can help you look at it deeper than what you think it is.
Yeah,
Believe me.
what I like to add to that for Justin is well, first of all the things that we talked about today, when you begin to love yourself more and you begin to take better care of your health and you're feeling more energy, that's going to give you a lot more confidence right away, when you have more energy and you feel good. But also the way you build confidence is as Elle said, just step into fear. Whatever you fear, just step into it. And when you avoid it, it follows you around and becomes worse and you lack confidence. So if you want to build your confidence, whatever you're fearing or you're a little anxious about, just step into it. And when you do that, you'll see it actually gets smaller and it goes away. And when you actually embrace whatever fear you're having, you'll find the ways to overcome it. And then when you overcome those fears and you go, wow, I accomplished this, then that's going to really build your confidence. And then next time something comes up, you'll just step right into it and you'll handle it. So that's how you build confidence, by taking action.
So I can give you my example of my relationship question marks that I had in the past. I'm okay with talking about my limiting belief in the past. So when I was 6 years old and my primary caregiver was my grandmother, she I mean, I would see her every day. And then one day, she moved from, I'm originally from Iran. She moved from Iran to US when I was 6, and she never told me. And that was a big, huge limiting belief about myself, that, everybody that I love leaves me. So that experience was carried on to my adulthood. So when we look at that and we understand, I mean, I understood that that was then and this is now. And the exercises that I did and the coaching that I get with my coach, now I understand it was always consciously understood it, but emotionally, how deep can you go to understand those negative beliefs about ourselves? So that's important, to look at or feel those emotions of those past experiences and bring it to the surface.
I just want to add too, real quickly, is one of the things how I built some confidence and got through some fear was when I was a young kid, I stuttered really badly. And when you stutter, you become kind of introverted because you're not able to verbally express yourself. And so then when I wrote my main book, Ageless Living, in the year 2000, which is a complete mind, body, and spiritual wellness system that I teach my clients, all the marketing people and the media people said, well, Rico, this is your thing. You're the model for you. You got to go out and speak. And as you can imagine, the last thing you think you're going to be when you stutter is a public speaker, right? Because most people are afraid to be a public speaker. And so, I mean, I didn't stutter that badly, but I still stuttered, I still stuttered when I got older, and I still do a little bit now. You can probably hear that. And so, first I resisted it. I said, "Oh, how can I be a public speaker?" But then I realized when I'm working with my clients and I'm telling them to step up, come on, you can meet your challenge, but I wasn't meeting my big challenge. So that was hard. I mean, it's hard for a normal person who can talk okay to get up in front of a crowd and speak to people. So I just started doing it, and I wasn't very good at all at first, and I maybe not be a great speaker now, but I just kept doing it until now I love to speak, and it became a big blessing for me because now I have, I'm able to speak and get my message out to the world. So again, that's just an example. Whatever your fear is and you lack confidence in, you just got to embrace it and jump into it, and you'll overcome it, and you'll go, wow. Yeah. So I mean, for me, that was one of my biggest blessings ever, that now that I'm able to express myself and get my message out and help as many people as I can.
Unbelievable.
Beautiful.
That's incredible. And like, you're so confident and you're so well spoken and don't really notice the stutter at all. Didn't know that until you said that. So
Yes.
that's a testament right there. I mean, truly, I think when you put your mind to it and you believe in yourself and you align all of those things, you can get out and do things that you didn't think were even possible for yourself. And that's getting all of this together. Angelica, you've got your hand raised. I want to call on you next. Go right ahead.
Hi again. I had a question for you both. When you encounter either clients or maybe family members, and you know that there is clearly something that they could change to improve their health, but they always use time as like an excuse, or there's just always an excuse. How do you navigate that, and how do you help guide that shift in a sense that it doesn't feel like forced,
Pushing them, yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that's a great question, Angelique. Well, when it comes to your family, that's a different. I mean, if you're dealing with a client or somebody who asks you for help, that's another story. That then you can work with them, But when you come into your family, you got to be a little more careful. So really, what you just be an example for them. Instead of trying to change them and because if you kind of nag them and stuff, it's probably not going to work, right? So just be the example, and then when they see how well you're doing and how well and what you're doing and then if they ask you, why are you eating this, or why are you doing that? And then you tell them, well, because I feel so much better, and look, my hair is more stronger and shiny. And just tell them what's working for you, and just be the example for other people. And then eventually they're going to come on board and ask you, hey, how come you're so healthy and so strong and so beautiful and all those things? And one more thing I wanted to tell you, at your young age, if you begin right now, to really make your health a big priority, and also building great relationships, you're going to, science now tells us our genetic potential is to stay healthy to at least 125. So you can live at least to 125. You can stay healthy. You can stay energetic. You can build great relationship. You can do great things. In fact, we're counting on people like you, Angela, to go out and change the world. And we're still living in a crazy world of wars and killing each other. It's up to you guys to go out there strong and say, hey, we're not doing this anymore. We're going to learn to live in peace. We're going to realize we're all brothers and sisters here, and this is how we're going to live now. So you go out there and be that example, and you can make it happen. How about that?
Beautiful, Rico.
Empowering. Yeah. Thanks, Rico.
Yeah.
Sure.
So one thing I can add to this is that, Angelica, people, if they want to change their behavior, they will do it. And I understand, because you feel connected, you feel you love them, and then you want them to be in that space of health. What Rico said, yes, makes a lot of sense. The other thing is, when they look at you, or when you have asked them the question, what is the commitment to yourself to, if you need to lower your blood sugar, or whatever it is, what is the commitment? Ask them that, because that question brings a light bulb, and kind of opens their consciousness, because whatever you tell them, they're not going to listen to. But if you say, okay, have you asked yourself this question? What is your commitment to yourself to becoming healthy?
It's such a powerful. Thank
question.
you.
Yeah, sure. And by the way, this Angelica is a Dr. Angelica. She's really into health and well-being. Yes, yes. She
We'll
just
talk later, Rico.
Oh,
Great.
well, I should have you on my podcast. Get a hold of me, and yeah, we'll have you on. We'll talk about what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
yeah, and I will connect you too, for sure.
Before we run out of time, oh my gosh, so many great questions today. And thank you, Angelica, for that. That was fantastic. I wanted to let you know we are going to be doing a workshop coming up. It's called How to Create Your Best Life. It is Saturday, June 1st. Now, this is like a true workshop where you are going to have the opportunity to develop your personal strategies and tactics for greatly improving your relationships and your health. So you're going to learn like the important elements of creating relationships and great health, how you're going to be armed with your own personal wellness plan that you can implement into your daily life. We have it set up. You can sign up today, lock in your price. So regularly priced, this is $197. And anyone that gets on our wait list, we are doing it for $97. It's $100 off. I am putting the link in the chat. It's not requiring you to do a payment right this minute, but get on the wait list so you can lock in that price. If you're interested, please go to the website that's in there. I'm excited for that. Any final questions or comments? Coach L and Rico, amazing today. I wanted to give you a chance to kind of do some closing remarks.
Thank you so much. I think maybe Justin, you came. Do you have a question? I was just wondering, because I saw your face. I wasn't sure if you have a question. If not, that's okay.
Well, I have a closing remark. This is what I usually close my podcast with, and now my new TV show. Also, I want to mention you can check out my new TV show, Fearless Aging, on e360tv.com. That's live streamed to most of the major live streaming. So we always give you some good information and some good strategies and things that you can implement right away that really will make a big difference. But as Einstein said, knowledge without action is useless. So you got to take action. So take action on some things that you learned today. I'm sure we gave you some good tips, some things that you can get started with, but you got to take action on with it, or it doesn't happen, right? And the good news is you can do it. So just do it.
Beautiful. My suggestion would be that you can have it all: good health, good relationships, and lots of money, abundance. Just make sure that you commit to that space of being, knowing that you can have it all, and commit to putting a step forward in whatever areas that you of your life that you need some uh, space of improvement.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone, for Angelica and Justin and Kurt and Jose and Beth and Michael and Kat and Sylvia and everyone else that was here today. We really appreciate you being here and staying with us. Maria, you as well. I hope that you got something out of this. I hope that you'll take action. Grab a 30-minute complimentary call with either Rico or Elle or both, however you want to do it. Take priority of yourself. You deserve to have the life that you love, the life that you want, and to live it fully. So that means taking care, prioritizing yourself, however you do it, so that you can unlock your full potential. And if you're interested in seeing us in the How to Create Your Best Life workshop, we'd love to see you there. Get on the wait list now. The link is in the chat. Thank you all for being here today.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't see, I don't know if you put those complimentary, I have a self-discovery journal that you can download and use and just answer those questions for yourself. There's a couple of different things that I had that you can, download.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
Yep. I put them in there earlier. I just put them in again. If you have any questions, Sylvia, before we go, what you got for us?
I just want to say thank you so much. I missed the first part, so I wasn't sure if this was a recording, but either way, I believe in Elle and what she's doing. And so thank you so much for putting it out there to the world, because definitely all of us could use better health and relationships.
100%. Thank you for being here, Sylvia. We do have it recorded, so we'll be sending out the replay later for everyone that registered. So we appreciate that. And there'll be more information in that email on how to get on the wait list for the workshop. We would love to see you guys there. Thank you all so very much. I'm going to stop recording.